Hey guys, this is Reynolds here. Today we're going to be doing a 500 invocation run with no flicking and no shadow. Now, let's show you guys how to do it. These are the invocations I recommend. You can, if you're okay with flicking, turn on diet and turn off something else, like let's say Upset Stomach, or let's say Jungle Japes and Boulder Dash. This setup already has no Ancient Haste, but if you're comfortable flicking and, not flicking, doing like Rapid Heal Tech, then Ancient Haste can definitely be on. Again, completely up to you. At the very moment, with today's current patch, we are suspecting that it is best to stay at 500, and thus far, I believe that to be the case, so I'm going to turn off diet on purpose, so I can, downgrade a little bit to 500. Let's go ahead and pot up. Not much else needs to be said. If you're willing to flick, go double power. If you're not, power life like this run will be. It'll be a little bit slower, but then, your wrists will be very, very grateful. So to start, let's wear our range gear strength like this. And then let's go ahead and do a one-way sang switch from the beginning. Do a commentary for every room. Go ahead and tap the regen, drop 3 potions back here. For this wave, you could just one-way switch hit them. Future waves, you'll have to use Piety. You can use both for the shamans. Not the shamans, the cursed baboons. Not a big deal, not really a big deal if you get hit at the very end of the puzzle like that. You just need to leave this with like 20 HP and you're fine. Go ahead and drink up. Bang him once and then drop a sand for you. Double beach him. Or once if you hit big. Now you can drop DPS specs, do whatever you want. Go ahead and Death Charge. Now with the Baba change, he does no damage, quite literally, so you just need to make sure you have enough HP to survive some baboons and, have some time to one-shot them. There are the baboons. Just do a one-way Bofa switch. Let's go ahead and drag Baba down to a Sarko. And you see, if you don't pop one of the rocks, he's not even going to throw anything above your head, so you just need to watch out for slow shadow specifically. Use the regular range pot, you can use a blowpipe for the first skip. Depending how slow you are, you may not be able to do a blowpipe for the second one. Let's go ahead and use the other Sarkos this time. Let's drag him down in preparation for boulders. And this one will do a one-way Bofa switch. Be careful when you're doing the second boulder to kind of like walk toward it like this and then run. That's an easy way to get the skip for free. If you run straight toward it, your Bofa projectile may not reach in time and you may get run over. My death charge was not up. We'll stand next to the rock for this one. Probably won't matter. Go ahead and Divine Combat. Pretty simple. Let's go ahead and go to Kephri now. With the changes to Kephri, you want to be using your Partisan on the Sun on the Overlords. And then you want to be using, everything else is as usual. Use Fang on Kephri yourself. Do make sure your chins are in place to use on the first set of swarms. I'll show you how to do it. Now you see I have the party plugin enabled so I can ping like this. I'll be using it to show you how I like to set up Kephri in this run. If you're willing to flick, I recommend flicking at Baba and Kephri and Zebak. If you're not willing to flick, then just do what I'm doing and just hold Mighty down the whole time. Probably was a little inefficient pathing there, but it's okay. I don't really do too much. I'm gonna go ahead and drop 3 Fang specs to start. If you have an actual DPS spec, like let's say a Void Waker or Burning Claws, those are a little bit better. And then after your 3rd Fang, you want a Death Charge. We're going to be killing 1 egg for a very, very particular reason. Let's dung here to start, and then later we'll dung here. We'll drop 1 more Fang spec, actually. Why not? Drop all 4. If you don't have double Death Charge, you may not want to drop all of them. Maybe 2 is fine. But with double Death Charge, it's pretty handy. Now we're going to look for the brown egg like that. Take out our Partisan of the Sun, stab just 1 of them. This will prevent Kephri from doing her dirt dung line later. And the reason for that is because these Agiles have a cap on the room. When Kephri has met that cap, then she'll be doing more of them. Let's go ahead and dung here. Do not proc. And then let's proc here. Take out our Partisan. Stab him once, run, make sure you run here. And then stab and get ready to blowpipe. Blowpipe. And then once we make it to this west side of the room, we can go ahead and put on Prey Melee. The ranger can no longer see you. Use chins on the farther side of the room over there. And on this triple stack. Everywhere else you want to be blowpiping. I missed that one there, that's okay. I will go ahead and Prey Melee and stab this dude to death. We'll go ahead and prepare to throw more dung lines. I recommend throwing them here if she does dung you. Just be ready to throw one here, but don't trap the melee in. See, she did not trap me in. Take out your Partisan at the Sun, and melee this soldier a couple times. Then hug this corner of the room and Prey Melee. Once the Arcane is about 3 away, you can start stabbing her instead. Your Thrall will help proc it, so don't panic. And then if you've done it right, you should kill the meleeer sometime after the Arcane has jumped. Because you want to be focusing the melee the most, and doing just the bare minimum for the Arcane. I'm gonna switch to a melee Thrall, so she doesn't really help pop. And then I'm gonna stab the last Spitting Scarab here. You'll be tanking both, but that's okay. You can Sunspec if needed, if somehow you're taking a lot of damage, but you shouldn't. Now you can just go ahead and chill over here on the west side of the room and fang this guy to death. If you ever trap one of the rangers and you need to kill one of them, it's okay to switch to Bofa as a backup plan, Of course, it's not great DPS. It's 7 DPS comparatively to your Fang, which is sorry, not your Fang. Comparatively to your Karis, which is about 10.5. We only need to pray range when we fall below roughly 15. Let's try to save our Fang specs for the ending. The very last phase of Kephri, she basically spams dung lines a lot more, so plowing through that phase faster can save a little bit of time. Okay, we're about 20, we can pray range now. These guys can max a 5. Although it's almost statistically impossible to get hit by like 4 of them for like max. But still, we'll prevent that. In the deposit box, you can drop them, but I kind of just don't bother because I'm a main account. And main accounts have privileges of not caring. Okay. Now that this room is nice and cleared. See, we still have about 7 sand fuse here. Go ahead and grab power. And optionally, you can go Zebak like this, and it's not really a big difference, so let's go ahead and do that. Normally, I would have said, hey, this is trolling, you want to go to Akkha, but in this case, it's actually not a big deal anymore. And the reason for that is because there are 2 reasons you would have needed to go Akkha first. One is if you needed to brew, then your salt would have ran out and that would suck. The second is for run energy purposes. Now that also doesn't really matter anymore because with the run energy changes, you can run for a lot longer than before. So yeah, it's not really an issue. The perfect way to showcase that you can do a level 3 Zebak. I had Piety on when I wasn't supposed to, but whatever. I like to do 2 Bofa shots running in. Make sure you always step 2 back, no matter what, when you do your BGSs. Any melee spec. Make sure we have a regen on. The first set of upset stomach, you generally want to be in this area. This will be a direct solve. You just need to throw it in there. The one you need to be afraid of is when you push it diagonally towards Zebak. And we can use tile skipping mechanics to get there away, just like that. You can always run over acid. So pushing a jug, let's say this way, you want to be very careful if it collides with a rock, because the way it works is it blows up 1 tick after it makes contact. Or like 1 tile ahead, maybe not 1 tick. This happens to be an extra tick. See, we'd run over acid like this. Don't be afraid of doing that, ever. For the meme, we'll save 1 jug on the road. Probably lost us some ticks, but it's funny. But this one is fine because we can push it backwards. In case you're already a master and you have 2-minute thralls, the timers right now are broken. You see mine just ran out, but my thrall's still blasting. He's got an extra 30 seconds on him. And with level 3 Zebak, you can always pray against his blood barrages, but against level 4 you cannot, so just keep that in mind. You can just tank them and it's fine. You can always sun if needed. Just remember not to use your adrenaline for the sun, We're gonna look at his, little handsies over here, his little paws. If you see the blood barrage animation, that's when you know to pray mage before his next attack. Might be seeing one soon. There it is. That's how I know to pray mage. He'll summon a blood cloud, and if he does summon a blood cloud, you know his very next blood barrage animation is for sure going to be blood barrage. Look at his paws. There it is. Blood barrage on level 3 will always land a tick before his actual attack. Let's go ahead and go to Akkha now. We need to make space for the mirror, so let's go ahead and equip her Fang. You can use the tile pack plugin to download and use the Akkha butterfly tiles I'll be using for this one. I'll be using their 4-tick butterfly tiles. We'll need to remember to use Preserve on the last minute. We can just put it on now, but... make sure you... even if it costs you ticks, you don't get meleeed in the beginning. It's okay if you do, but do your best not to. So the way I like to get to the middle when it comes to Double Trouble is I'll do what I call a long click, and then I'll just stop myself. Using a long click, as in like clicking far away from yourself, your character will start running, and then you can just stop yourself. Double Trouble, as long as you stay moving in 2s, won't hit you, and moving in 1s is fine as long as you don't move in the same direction over. If you want like an easy tip for Double Trouble, you could also try using the attack tile trick. The thing is, with the 4-tick butterflies, there's 3 attack tiles, and only one of them is able to run to the symbol. The others, you want to click... oops. One off the symbol. So you switched on me, that's okay. Go ahead and go for the shadow while we're waiting. Now with keep back, previously you need to do step backs, but here you can just spray melee. Once you see the hit splat on your character, you can just spray what he's actually doing. And the chip damage is very minimal. Make sure you squeeze in that extra Fang. And he'll always drop an orb ahead 1 tile of where you're facing. So for this one, you can just pray melee, and then pray mage after he's done his animation, and he's like halfway through on it. Make sure you get that extra shot in. You can go ahead and Karis. Now that he's praying melee, we can resume butterflying. You see, messing up doesn't really have too many consequences. It just slows down your Akkha a bit. That's okay. Practice makes perfect. You see? Let's go ahead and preserve down. Oops. He meleeed me, so he's gonna switch. This one's a full circle. You can attack once every 2 if you're using a Bofa. Now he won't switch until he's right about to do a special, so you're chilling. You try to get in this last stab. You do a long click and just stop yourself. One underrated thing about messing up is you do a lot of time on DPS checks, because all this time I'm hitting it, the clock is not ticking down there. Probably use a little bit more sand food than necessary. They also nerfed Phase considerably, so you don't really need to use as much as you used to. For potential Sun, it's most of the time you shouldn't need a Sun Karis for that phase. But it's okay if you do. Right now we have about 5 restores, so we're chilling. Tap the regen. I wonder how long that's been gone for. Hopefully not too long. We'll always dump one because you'll never have enough time to use the other one. See, the orbs, there's very, very few of them. Now we're at the very ending, so we're just gonna go ahead and dump Fang Specs. Somewhere between 6 to 7.5 minutes is what you should expect. I'm gonna go life second here. And because we have dehydration, we can't drink the ambrosia or the brew, but we can use everything else in the pack. Want to get your BGS out. Rapid heal up. You turn off preserve and resalt. I forgot to adrenaline. That's okay. Let's just pretend I missed all my BGS. Go ahead and bow for this thing to death. Now we do have Ancient Haste off, so the chance of us getting a third set of orbs is pretty much none. A second set is like 50-50. Really depends if you hit your BGS or not. In this case we missed. Go ahead and tap our bandage now. If I did adrenaline like I was supposed to, I would have used the Partisan of the Sun here, but in this case there's not really any need to. Go ahead and prep our DDS. Let the bandage do all the work when it comes to healing. Go ahead and prep our mage gear. Grab our RTS. Now you can stand against the corner of the room generally. That way you don't really need to pay attention too much. You only need to pay attention to your immediate surroundings. We'll drag him down even a little bit. Because the bombs can no longer land beneath Warden, you can use that to your advantage and bring him closer to you to limit the amount of area the bombs can travel to. They can't land on the edges of the arena either, which is pretty nice. With this attack, you can just AFK here, use any of these 4 tiles. Go ahead and Adrenaline, get ready for the DDS. It's very, very important you get your 5 DDSs in the very first phase. After that, it's very lenient. The reason the first 5 are super important is because Warden's kind of has like a cascading effect, where like getting damage done early essentially sets you up to do more damage later on. So that's the 5th DDS. Let's do a BGS whack. Now, if you're very experienced with last row, you can use the bandage here, but in my opinion, you should just use a Sun Karis. Most people should. And then just save the silk dressing for the very end. Go ahead and use the silk dressing now. Dump some DDS. Then we'll Partisan Stab. And at this point, you can pretty much lose count. You don't really need to worry about getting the last hit with BGS. For example, I could be BGSing, I think, right here, but I'm not going to bother to because it actually doesn't matter too much. It may save you hit, but I want to show you that it's lenient even if you mess up. For the last phase, you don't want to use any DDS. Just want to be Karis Partisan Stabbing. The reason for that is you want to make sure you try to get as many good attempts on P3 BGS as much as possible. The P3 BGS is really important when it comes to speed, because P3 is longer than P4. It's a very, very long phase, so you want to min-max the defense reduction you can get out of that. I have to switch thralls. Yeah, the no Aram's leg seems to be about maybe like 1 or 2 hits worse. We're dropping exceptionally low. You can do another Karis. We'll do a Karis here before Adrenaline runs out just to safe up, in case we get hit by a bomb somehow. But it's pretty hard to get hit by a bomb these days. I guess it could land underneath me or something. I did lose out on my BGS doing that. That's okay. So you can see I have a lot of restore here. Summon a thrall here. Let's use the free stuff first. We'll quiet down Warden a little bit. Excellent defense reduction. Now, Skull Skip will be worth your time at 500 and over. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll need to preserve our salts pretty soon, so let's go ahead and just do that now. Go ahead and drink the regen pot. And the way you want to use your silk dressing at the end is if you fall below 50 HP in P4, just tap the silk dressing. That's all you need to do. and that'll let you survive 2 more lightnings, assuming you don't get hit by like a rock and a Zebak overhead. That's all. That's pretty much it. I recommend doing 1 BGS for B4 and then saving the other for your Sun Partisan, because you'll regen enough within 45 seconds to use a Sun Partisan, and it's very hard to die within the first 45 seconds. If you have any DPS specs, you can dump them somewhere in P3, but make sure you start P4 with 100% if you're not that experienced. And this is where like the double power really comes through. It gives you a little bit more BGS like freer. That way if you hit like a 0, it's not as inconsistent times. I was lucky enough to hit a 63, but if I hit a 0, then I'd be here for probably an extra 30 seconds to a minute. Maybe like 30 seconds. I don't think defense reduction is that much. It could be a minute, but you could also turn off rigor here as well while you're doing your skull skip. Keep in mind that the unique calculator here is incorrect. Right now, 500s are speculated to be roughly 7.2%, maybe about 7.4, 7.5 if you count in the 3 down, extra path, and skull skips. But that should be, you know, the real unique rate, roughly about 7.5%. Overall, switching over to 500s will save quite a few hours compared to doing like 400s, definitely. You'll get the Shadow pretty much in 40-50% less raids. For this one, you always want to dodge 1 Baba Boulder before skipping. The next set, the last 20% set, I like to play it by ear. If the boulder falls within the first 3 seconds of the skulls hitting the floor, I'll dodge 2 Baba boulders. If it falls, you know, after that, then I'll dodge just the 1. But it's not a big deal if you get hit by a Baba boulder. You can also use your silk dressing if you get hit and you fall below, you know, standard. That fell. I'm gonna dodge at least 1 more. Now this one I'm not too sure of the timing. If I get hit, it's not a big deal though. Pretty close timing. Rocking the far back may let you get in 1 extra Bofa before the last row. Not a big deal if you don't want to do it. You'll almost certainly be last road anyway. So that might be the one that procs it. Nope, 1 more. We'll go ahead and put Piety on. We'll have 1 Bofa shot with Piety on. 1 BGS. Go back to Bofing. I was very lucky and I got a good defense reduction there. Want to focus on your overheads as well as the Baba boulders. Don't be afraid too much about getting hit by lightning if you do. The best way to like not take damage from lightning is honestly to stand where they most recently popped. So if I see a big big shadow, English Reynolds. If I see one that just popped, I know it's safe for about 30 seconds. Now at this point, I'm going to tap my bandage. That'll get me to a very nice, comfy, high HP. And with the last row, you want to click right before they pop and run on top of them, just like so. And they'll give you some safety for a few seconds. For example, this one just popped. And then boom, that one. Then boom, that one. And eventually you get the feel of it where you don't really take damage anymore. And there you go. 36 minutes, 500. Bofa, no flicking at all. 3 whole sand fuse left. Do with that what you will. I'm sure you guys will, you know, be able to farm some nice shadows with this setup. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go ahead and show you the board times. You want them for reference, just so you can know generally what you're aiming for every room with a setup like this. Alright, you guys have a good rest of your day.